Solaris Diagnostics is a laboratory that provides contemporary testing and cutting-edge molecular diagnostics right here in Nicholasville, Kentucky. With the current COVID-19 pandemic, Solaris has processed more than 1 million samples in 2020 and averages around processing 30,000 samples in a single day with the average turnaround time of less than 20 hours. I got to interview the founder and CEO of Solaris Diagnostics, Dr. Sidhu, who also happens to be my boss. Here's Dr. Sidhu talking more about how he started Solaris Diagnostics.
Before I started Solaris, I used to be a laboratory director for other diagnostic company. I always wanted to start my own company. So when I started working in the diagnostic area, I also started doing consulting as a side business. So I worked with a lot of small startups, a lot of already established companies, and I was providing them the technical consulting. So through that, I gained a lot of experience, not just in the technical side, but also the business aspect of the medical lab. And once I gain sufficient experience, and I feel comfortable that now I can set up my own lab, so that's when I started to working on my own lab.
Dr. Sidhu's goal of creating Solaris Diagnostics was to set up a company to provide quality testing and good customer service. He wanted to meet the requirements that were missing in the industry at the time and bridge the gap between traditional microbiology and the most advanced next-in sequencing. The only thing about his goals that have changed is the scale of them, as Solaris has grown exponentially since it was founded in 2018. Here's Dr. Sidhu providing insight on how he measures success individually and as a company.
Once you start feeling that you are successful and you gained everything, I think that's the end. So I'm very proud of the company. We did really well. Even before COVID, we were expecting 300 to 400 times the growth every year, and COVID basically sped that up. So as a company, we became really successful. I won't rely the success on how much samples you are getting in or how much revenue you're getting in. Your success really depends on what people say about you. And right now with Solaris, we are getting so many clients which are just coming as a reference from other clients. So this is where you measure your success, that okay, now your name speaks for yourself. So you don't have to rely on your sales team. Right now we are getting half of our business right now is from a reference from other client.
When asked about competition, Dr. Sidhu informed me that there's competition in every field. In order to stay ahead of the competition, it's really important to provide a product that adds value to the industry or to provide a service that's better than anything else offered in whatever industry you're getting into. Regarding the medical field, two aspects are incredibly important. The first is the quality of the product, and the second is customer service. Dr. Sidhu explained that it's really essential to align both. That way, not only does the product speak for itself, but the customer service takes care of anything else missing from the product. He says that a fault of a lot of companies is that they have too strong of a focus on only one of these aspects instead of focusing on both aspects simultaneously. This strategy ultimately doesn't work because customers will see right through a not-so-good product, or they'll get frustrated with bad customer service. When asked about expanding Solaris Diagnostics, Dr. Sidhu explained that before COVID, he planned to expand in different areas of testing. So in last August, they began blood testing at Solaris. But then after COVID hit, all of the resources were redirected to the COVID pandemic, and this actually worked out really well for them. As I mentioned previously, Solaris processes about 30,000 samples a day now, which is around the highest a single location lab can do. Once the pandemic settles down, Dr. Sidhu has plans to continue to expand new testing, expand into a new space, and retain his employees. Right now, they have the space, manpower, and capital to be able to expand into a different area and different states in the future. To conclude the video, I asked Dr. Sidhu if he had any advice for future entrepreneurs. Here's what he had to say.
So my advice for anyone is that you should believe in your product. You should set the goal and you should work for it. And sometime, hard working really pays off, but in today's world, you should be working smartly. So that's my goal. Believe in your product, launch a product which can solve at least a single problem. And that's what everyone should do it. And that's how we should do it.